we go with this shit. The flashing camera. Why does it do that? Okay. Gotta watch out for that. Hey guys, I'm Friendzone. Thank you for joining me. Let's talk music. So on today's episode, I'm going to be reviewing Solange's new album, When I Get Home. Let me just start off by saying Solange's last album was actually my favorite album of all time. I really think A Seat at the Table is like one of my top 3 favorites ever. So I was really excited for this new project, of course. It was kind of surprised. I don't think anybody really knew like weeks or months in advance that Solange was going to be dropping a project. I think I might have found out maybe 2 days before the project dropped that it was actually dropping. So there was no big rollout, no huge fanfare or anything. But I mean, Black Twitter did make quite a big deal about Solange coming back out. So let's just jump into this album real quick. Overall, I definitely think it's a chill vibe. She was going for a different kind of sound than she was with her last album, A Seat at the Table. That album was very political. It was very pro-black. Had a lot of messages in there about black empowerment. Throw in a couple of skits from Master P to really jazz the thing up, and it was a great project. I'm not really sure what direction she was taking with this project as far as the message of the album. The last album obviously had a big message to it. With this album, it's not really apparent that there is a message to it at all. It's just a very chill, futuristic R&B kind of vibe that she's created. One thing I really like about Solange, when I was looking up some of the lyrics for these songs, I noticed in the credits that she writes the majority of her songs. I mean, I think there's 12 songs on this album. I think she is the sole writer that's credited on at least 9 or 10 of these songs. I think there might be 2 or 3 songs on there that she had maybe one other person write with her, or for some of the features, of course, you know, these rappers that she did a couple of songs with on this album, they have their own writing credits too, which is also great. But as far as the material that she's doing, she wrote all of it for the most part, and I really do, you know, admire that in an artist. But like I said, I don't see what the message is. I think it might be a Houston thing. I think some of these songs might be themed around her hometown of Houston. The whole album actually might just be paying homage to her hometown of Houston. I'm not really sure at this point because like I said, it's not as apparent as it was with the last album. But I do see a lot of Houston influence on this thing, so I'm just going to go ahead and lean that way. Yeah, we'll just say that it's a album dedicated to Houston. As far as the album cover, it got a little bit of flack on social media, but I kind of like it. It's pretty much just a variation of the previous album cover. She's pretty much just on the cover in the same position that she was in before. Her hair is a little different. I think it's flowing a little bit better. It doesn't have those little clips or curlers or whatever. On this album cover, she's mostly just plain Jane, except for these, I don't even know what you call that. It's like, I don't even know what you would call that kind of thing you put on your eyebrows. It's like a metal piece that she put. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe that thing. It looks freaky and weird. It looks very futuristic. Definitely gives a vibe to the album. Before you even listen to it, you can kind of see that cover and kind of see where she's going. Kind of a futuristic discotheque kind of thing, which I think, yeah, I think that is kind of the sound of it. A futuristic R&B discotheque kind of thing. But yeah, I like this album cover. I like how it feels like it's in a series. I feel like the last album and this album, when you look at them side by side as far as the covers go, I feel like you're looking at the beginning of a saga. You know how in all the Star Wars movies, they always have the big Star Wars logo and the name of episode 1 or episode 3 in the title? It's the same yellow or gold logo, and then the background will be different every time. So it's kind of like that, just a slight variation of the last one, kind of saying that you're just continuing a series, which is great for the fans because maybe that means more music is coming to make up for this very lackluster album. Yeah, I said that, unfortunately. This album is pretty lackluster when it comes down to it. I mean, my final verdict is it starts off nice, but it kind of loses its potency. That first song, people have been dragging that first song for filth. That whole, what is it? I don't even remember what she was saying, but she said that shit like 52 times. So you would think I would remember what she had said, but obviously it wasn't that great, whatever it was, because you repeated that shit 100 times and I don't remember to this moment what the hell you were talking about at all. I just don't get it. I like the last one, Fall in Your Ways. I really like that intro. I was singing along to that nonstop. This intro, I don't know what the direction was. I don't know what the message was in that. I don't know what she was trying to say. You know, what's the cryptic message to be deciphered behind this one bar that you're repeating 91 times? And it's not like it sounds great. It's not like it's a groove. It's a real rhythm. It's kind of just off. I don't get it. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's some deep conceptual shit that I'm just not comprehending because I'm just too basic. I don't know. Yeah, it's a groove and I was into it. I was kind of riding the vibe until like the last half or last quarter of the album. It just kind of got dry. Like overall, this project just seems really dry. It lacks the vibrance that the last project brought to the table. Like I said before, the production is very soft and very minimal, which is cool, but you have to bring something as far as like your vocal or as far as your presence on the song to be able to make up for the song being so soft and minimal. Or else you're basically just writing a lullaby, which I said before that it's not like it really puts you to sleep, but I mean, I could probably fall straight to sleep listening to like half of that album, if I'm really being honest. So yeah, overall, I'm not really sure if I like this Solange project. I've listened to it 1.5 times. The first time I listened to it all the way through, and it was a struggle. I'm gonna be honest. Those last 3 or 4 songs, it was a struggle to not just go on to the next album I have to review and just listen to that instead. I tried to listen to it again because I didn't want to just, come at this thing as far as the review. I didn't want to just come at this thing just off of one take. I want to at least sit with it a couple of times so I can really, get a feel for it and be able to really draw out those little details that maybe I'm missing the first time. But I don't think I'm missing shit. I don't think there's anything to be missed on this album. As a matter of fact, there isn't enough on the album to be missed. It's very, very sparse, very, very dry. I'm good, Solange. Miss me with all that shit. But yeah, I mean, better luck next time. Solange is a great artist. Like I said before, A Seat at the Table still remains one of my top 3 favorite albums of all times. I mean, it's just a really great project. I'm probably just gonna keep listening to that. Like, pretend this new thing never happened. This When I Get Home project never even happened, and just continue bumping A Seat at the Table for the next 4 years until another project comes out. Better luck next time. But I mean, yeah, it's only off of like 1.5 listens though. Maybe a couple of weeks down the line, I'll revisit this project and try and give it another shot. I mean, who knows, maybe it'll grow on me. Sometimes when we listen to certain projects, things that are going on in our lives at the time could possibly affect it. We might not want to hear certain types of music, or we're just not on that type of vibe right now where we're into that basic, lullaby type of music, that super relaxed music that doesn't really come with any punch. So maybe I'll feel different later. You guys tell me what you think. Did you hear Solange's new album? Do you give a fuck? Did you hear the last album? Now, the last album was great. I mean, I've said that like 4 times this video, but I can't stop saying how great A Seat at the Table is. But what do you think about this project, When I Get Home? Personally, I'm just gonna have to go ahead and dump this one, and that is off of just 1.5 takes, but I think that's quite enough. If I had to rate it, I guess on a scale of 1 to 10, just because I love Mother Solange so much, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 6.5, even though it might not even deserve a 6.5. I'm just gonna go ahead and give you your 6.5. Okay, that's above average. That's above the halfway mark at least. A Seat at the Table, 11. 11. Okay, for A Seat at the Table. This new project, I'm gonna go ahead and give you your little, 6.5. But yeah, that's my review of When I Get Home by Solange. As always, make sure you like, share, and subscribe for more great content. And thank you for joining me. I'm Friendzone. Peace.